There are some tapes that were never supposed to surface. Tapes locked in vaults, erased from servers, or buried under NDAs and hush money so deep, even the most ruthless bloggers wouldn't touch them. At 2:37 a.m. on a Tuesday, a woman named Sylvia Okun, a former hospitality manager at a high-end Manhattan hotel, uploaded a single frame to an encrypted message board. No caption. No hashtags. Just a single, grainy image of a hotel hallway and the shadow of a man some say is him. The man behind the parties, the silence, and the rumors that have haunted hip-hop for years. That post would ignite a digital wildfire. Because the man in that frame looked like Diddy Combs. And the woman? Cassie Ventura.
Bruised. Disoriented.
Staring directly at the hidden camera Sylvia swore was never supposed to exist. The footage Sylvia leaked next would bring everything crashing down. For the first time ever, witnesses are speaking. Staff members who swore they'd never tell are breaking their silence. And a private journal, allegedly kept by Cassie herself, has been unsealed. This isn't just another Hollywood scandal. This is the story of luxury turned into captivity, of fame used like a weapon, and of a man who may have built an empire on the broken will of others.
Stay tuned.
This story only gets darker. Before the leaks, before the lawsuits, before the rumors solidified into something tangible, there was only the legend. Diddy Combs wasn't just a music mogul. He was the architect of 90s hip-hop luxury, platinum bottles, all-white parties in the Hamptons, private jets fueled by Ciroc and ego. He took street ambition and wrapped it in diamonds. What Jay-Z rapped about, Diddy lived. He wasn't just in the room, he owned it. But like any carefully built empire, this one had walls. Thick ones. With no windows. To the world, Cassie Ventura was his muse, the impossibly gorgeous, soft-spoken singer plucked from obscurity and turned into the queen of his kingdom. She was the dream everyone wanted. But behind the velvet ropes and paparazzi flashes, that dream began to look more like a controlled experiment. According to multiple anonymous testimonies gathered in the newly leaked Okun dossier, the hotel where Sylvia worked, Hotel P*******A, its name redacted in every legal file, was one of several base rooms used by Diddy's personal team. These weren't penthouse suites. They were staging zones. Rooms without cameras. Rooms without windows. Rooms with strict staff access. Sylvia described them as too clean, too silent, like a crime scene waiting for the actors to arrive. In the beginning, Sylvia thought it was just how celebrities operated. High privacy, weird hours, endless rules. Until she started noticing patterns. Cassie never checked in herself. Ever. Her name was never on file. Instead, there'd be a burner phone left with front desk instructions. If MS Valencia arrives, give her room 1927.
Do not speak.
Do not offer upgrades. Call the number after she enters. That room number? Repeated in records over 7 years. And it wasn't just Cassie. Sylvia later recalled seeing other women, all with the same pattern. Quiet. Isolated. Often visibly shaken. They never made eye contact, she said. They walked like they were being watched, even when no one was behind them. That's when Sylvia started documenting. She kept a private notebook. Times, faces, names overheard strange exchanges with security. She even mapped out the timing of the room service orders. Always between 3 and 4 a.m. Never alcohol. Always water, fruit, and anti-anxiety medications. She claimed the labels were visible more than once. But whenever she tried to log them into the hotel system, her access was overridden. By 2016, she had already witnessed more than one violent incident. One entry from July 19th reads, Ms. V left the room barefoot. Security rushed her into elevator before I could ask. Her lip was bleeding. She didn't look shocked. She looked used to it. Sylvia wasn't the only one raising quiet alarms. A former concierge staffer, Yvette D., who has since moved to Arizona under what she calls emotional asylum, confirmed through a voice-only interview that multiple complaints were made internally. None were ever filed. We were told to never interfere with Combs' guests. Not even if we heard screaming. We were told it was performance prep, that he ran intense rehearsals. That's how they justified the crying. The silence. The bruises. But this wasn't a studio. This was a hotel. And this was the beginning of something far more chilling. Behind closed doors, Diddy controlled everything and everyone. He wasn't a man with power. He was a network. Every assistant had an assistant. Every driver had a burner. Every guest had a script. And yet, the luxury made it all blend. The yacht photos. The Instagram reels. The birthday tributes. To the outside world, Diddy and Cassie were #goals. To insiders? She was the ghost bride. A nickname whispered among hotel staff. Because she never smiled. Never stayed more than 12 hours. And never left the room without a mark. Her career had stalled. Her music had all but vanished. Every attempt she made to step outside of Diddy's brand, a dance short film, a modeling campaign, even a rumored acting audition, seemed to disappear before launch. Projects were cancelled. Funding evaporated. One director anonymously told us, "We were greenlit." She was excited. Then out of nowhere, we got a call from his office. They said if we moved forward, we'd never shoot in LA again. Power isn't just about money. It's about erasure. And Diddy, as one witness called him, was a master of selective disappearance. In 2018, Sylvia began noticing something else. The hotel suite's locks had been changed, now replaced by coded, external panels not synced to hotel servers. The security team started bringing their own cleaners. Sylvia was reassigned, but she had already begun copying the logs. And what she found was damning. Trips that didn't match travel records. Cassie's name linked to aliases registered under shell companies. Suites rented in bulk. An entire floor once closed off under the excuse of ventilation issues, only to be used that night for what a delivery man described as a private event with medical-grade soundproofing. The deeper Sylvia looked, the clearer the illusion became. This wasn't just a man protecting his privacy. This was a system designed to rewrite reality. One night, she opened a drawer in the suite while no one was watching. Inside were 3 items: a pair of women's heels, a roll of electrical tape, and a burner phone. The phone was wiped. But the shoes? They were Cassie's size. And they were stained. Still, the world never saw that side. At the 2019 Grammy afterparty, Diddy and Cassie danced like nothing was wrong. They smiled for cameras. They posed. But Sylvia, now watching from a monitor back at the hotel, saw something else. Cassie flinched when he touched her hand. This wasn't a relationship. It was a performance. A gilded prison. And no one watching from the red carpet had any idea how deep the damage truly ran. But Sylvia did. And she wasn't the only one. Because 2 months later, Cassie would disappear from the hotel entirely. No check-ins. No deliveries. No sightings. Just silence. And silence was the first crack in Diddy's carefully guarded empire. The footage. The rituals. The night she almost didn't walk out. The first leaked clip was only 14 seconds long. Low-res. Grainy. Silent. A narrow hallway, time-stamped 3:14 a.m. Cassie stumbles into frame. Her steps are uneven, almost mechanical. Behind her, a tall figure in a dark coat walks slowly, deliberately. No sound. No visible aggression. But the air in the frame feels thick, like something isn't just wrong, it's ritualistic. The hallway was from the east wing of Hotel P******, the side usually off-limits to guests. Sylvia recognized the wallpaper instantly. What disturbed her wasn't the footage itself. It was the realization that someone had been recording this from a camera that wasn't supposed to exist. And then came the voice. An anonymous female caller, disguised through heavy modulation, left a message in a voicemail box tied to a now-removed Reddit thread titled, "CV Files, I worked those nights." In the recording, she says, "There was always a smell before it started, like burnt wax, expensive perfume, and blood. I'd clean the aftermath. The towels, the weird ropes. But the thing I can't forget was that no one ever said a word. No talking. Not even crying. Just breathing, like a room full of ghosts pretending to be alive. At first, viewers assumed it was creepypasta, until the second leak dropped. This one? It had audio. A shaky phone camera peering through a vent grill. A wide suite lit only by floor lamps. Cassie is sitting on the edge of the bed, surrounded by 3 other women. All of them are wearing pale, expressionless masks, the kind you'd expect from an underground performance art piece. Silent. Motionless. The door opens. Heavy boots.
Diddy walks in.
You never see his face. Just the shoes. The way everyone tenses up. One woman drops her mask in her lap. Cassie doesn't look up. He says one thing. Time to earn your silence. Then the screen goes black. This was the moment conspiracy became reality. Independent journalists began tracing metadata, matching hotel floor plans, verifying the linen patterns, even isolating voice frequencies. Several audio experts publicly declared, this footage was not faked. By week's end, hashtag Cassandra Files was trending across TikTok, Instagram, and private Twitter circles. But the real blow came when someone still unidentified leaked a PDF titled The Red Room Protocols. Within it, schedules, choreographies, descriptions of sessions, roster names listed as M1 to M6, presumed to refer to masked women, all allegedly orchestrated by Combs Entertainment Holdings, Internal Events Division. One detail stood out, a phrase repeated across multiple dates. Cassie hosts. Cassie pays. One former dancer, known only as R, spoke in a dimly lit interview for an underground YouTube docuseries. Her face was obscured. Her hands visibly shook. It wasn't drugs. It was routine. Like you'd walk in, they'd hand you a script, literally, like a typed script. But it wasn't lines. It was behaviors. How to move. When to flinch. When to smile. Like, they trained us to make it look like pleasure. But it was performance under pressure. Cassie wasn't a co-star. She was the main event. And she was trapped. People online began decoding symbols in Diddy's old music videos. The candlelit basements. The red velvet blindfolds. The recurring staircase scenes. Reddit threads exploded with theories. Was it all real? Were we watching a confession unfold in plain sight for decades? And then the hotel blueprints leaked. Anonymous whistleblowers shared unsealed construction permits showing that the east wing of Hotel P*** had undergone secret renovations in 2013, the year Cassie's public appearances noticeably decreased. The renovations? Soundproofing. Internal tunnel access. Private elevator shaft. Sylvia confirmed the layouts matched what she'd seen. One night in particular, October 4th, 2017, she claimed to have seen Cassie enter the private elevator flanked by 2 men in black hoodies. The camera footage from that night? Corrupted, IT said. But Sylvia had saved the door logs. Cassie never came back through that elevator. 3 days later, Diddy posted a now-deleted tweet. Sometimes you gotta break something before it becomes art. The implications were unbearable. Was Cassie being drugged? Coerced? Or was this something worse? A systematized form of control wrapped in spiritual manipulation? That's when the journal surfaced. Allegedly Cassie's. Allegedly recovered from a hidden drawer at her old Malibu rental. The handwriting matched past samples. The ink tested as pre-2019. The entries were bone-chilling. I sleep with my eyes open now. It's safer that way. I smile because if I don't, I'll be replaced. The worst part isn't the silence. It's the applause after. In one torn page, scribbled almost illegibly, were 6 words. He said I belong to pain. The journal went viral overnight. Major outlets refused to report it, but influencers, commentators, and underground channels pieced it together. It wasn't just trauma. It was theater. Controlled, rehearsed, and weaponized. In one of the last known entries, dated 2019, there's a door behind the 3rd mirror. If I open it, I leave everything. But if I don't, I might never leave at all. That same year, Cassie suddenly left Diddy.
Publicly.
Quietly. No drama. No allegations. But now, in hindsight, the escape looked planned, almost coordinated. Witnesses claimed she changed her number, wiped her old contacts. Her driver, bodyguard, and assistant, all replaced in one day. A full reset. But the silence wasn't freedom. It was survival. Then came one final audio leak. A panicked voice. Breathless. Unidentifiable. She ran.
I swear.
I don't know who helped her. But they're watching. Don't talk. Don't even think about it. Just don't say his name. The internet reacted the only way it knows how. Spirals of obsession, deepfakes, recreations. But for those who had been watching closely, like Sylvia, it wasn't entertainment. It was confirmation. The rituals. The footage. The tunnel. The masks. None of it was fantasy. It had just been buried under noise. And now that it was surfacing, the empire was starting to crack. The silence turned into smoke. One by one, people vanished. Accounts closed. Comments deleted. But courtrooms don't forget. And neither do hotel workers who remember everything. It started with the disappearances. Not dramatic. Not announced. Just gone. Sylvia Okun's hotel profile was deleted. Her LinkedIn erased. The Reddit thread CV files was scrubbed clean within 48 hours of trending. One of the anonymous witnesses, the one known as R, missed her next interview. Her number disconnected. No forwarding address. The channel that featured her voiceover was permanently suspended for violating community guidelines. But no further explanation was given. Then came the statements. Dry, rehearsed, legally filtered. From Diddy's legal team, Mr. Combs categorically denies any and all allegations of misconduct. Any implication otherwise is defamatory and will be met with legal action. But the internet doesn't care about legal threats. The damage had already been done. Screenshots, clips, voice notes, handwriting samples, and then court. It wasn't public. Not yet. But leaked filings from an internal civil suit, listed only as V's Combs et al., began circulating among legal circles. Sealed affidavits. Emotional testimony. Pages marked confidential, not for media distribution. But someone was leaking them anyway. One document, now verified by at least 2 independent analysts, included a deposition excerpt from Witness 6, believed to be Cassie. Question: did you ever try to leave the suite once you were inside?
A. Yes. I tried. Twice.
Question: what happened the second time? A. Silence. He told me if I walked out, they'd find my mother before they found me. The room went silent. That line, just 7 words, ignited the public. Comments poured in by the thousands. Support groups formed. TikTok began a campaign under hashtag #LetCassieSpeak. But she never did. Not publicly. Her Instagram page remained frozen. Old pictures untouched. No stories. But followers noticed something. The final post she ever made, a black and white photo of her staring out a window, included a caption with a single emoji. Hole. A black hole. Nothing more. Then it got worse. A second hotel worker came forward under pseudonym Milo. He claimed to be part of the overnight cleaning staff at Hotel P*** between 2016 to 2019. In an encrypted message sent to independent investigative podcaster Eliza King, he wrote, "I once found a ring in the drain. Not gold. Not diamond. Rubber. Surgical. Still wet. And there was a Polaroid in the trash bin. A woman bent backwards on a piano, wearing a blindfold, smiling. But it wasn't real. I know the difference. I clean that kind of smile off mirrors every night." He signed the email with 3 words. Cassie was real. Still, the legal world tried to suppress it. In March 2024, a high-profile law firm retained by Combs filed for mass takedown notices across dozens of platforms. Some clips disappeared. Hashtag feeds went dark.
But the story kept moving underground.
Then came the quiet crumbling of the empire. His stylist of 12 years gone. 2 personal assistants, accounts deactivated. Security chief, fired without public explanation. A former Ciroc executive, arrested for unrelated financial crimes. Coincidence? Maybe. But the timing? Brutal. The silence was deafening. Meanwhile, a civil court in Manhattan quietly scheduled a hearing under a sealed case name, 15-4281, Psychological Trauma and Coercive Environments. Speculation was instant. Courtroom sketches began leaking, not official, but disturbingly detailed. They showed a thin woman in a hoodie, hair tied back, wearing sunglasses indoors, sitting directly across from a man in a tailored gray suit, head lowered. No names were written, but the internet filled in the blanks. And then came the moment that changed everything. One page, one sentence, one courtroom quote that was leaked in the form of a screenshot, allegedly texted by a junior legal assistant who later claimed she couldn't sleep after what she heard. It read, "If this man had been a cult leader instead of a producer, none of you would be asking if the victims were lying." Suddenly, the press pivoted. What had started as a conspiracy became a reckoning. Cassie's silence became symbolic, not just of fear, but of survival. Because in the end, the industry didn't protect her. The money didn't save her. The fame didn't shield her. She saved herself. Behind the scenes, more settlements were rumored. More NDAs. More erasures. But cracks kept forming. On April 5th, 2025, TMZ reported that 3 of Diddy's former housekeepers had filed a joint suit, this time over psychological endangerment. They referenced strange rituals, locked rooms, and instructions to never make eye contact with guests in distress. They weren't naming Cassie, but they didn't need to, because the pattern was now undeniable. People close to the story said internal panic spread across Diddy's camp. Multiple lawyers dropped out. Brand partners went silent. Ciroc temporarily paused new ad campaigns. His Instagram comments were turned off. A private jet linked to him was rerouted mid-flight for safety concerns. And then, like a domino falling in slow motion, he vanished. No public sightings. No videos. Just rumors of a property sale in Belize. The music stopped. The posts stopped. And all that was left was the echo. A voice recording, leaked 2 weeks after his disappearance, allegedly features Diddy himself. It's low, slurred, almost drunken. They never see the full picture. They only see the lights, the cameras, but they never look underneath. That's where I live. Underneath. In the shadows. That's the part they can't cancel. The file ends with static. Today, no official charges have been filed. No major networks have aired full investigations. And Cassie? She remains silent. A ghost in the story that was always about her, but never told by her. But for the people who saw behind the curtain, the hotel workers, the anonymous voices, the whistleblowers, the truth doesn't need a headline. It just needs to survive long enough to be believed. And now, maybe it finally has. This wasn't a story about celebrity. This was a story about control. Silence. And the machinery built to protect it. The luxury was real. The power was real. But beneath the surface, behind the velvet ropes and private elevators, there was something far darker. Something calculated. And for years, it hid in plain sight. Now, the world is finally asking, what really happened to Cassie? What else is buried under decades of red carpets, NDAs, and staged smiles? We may never get full answers, but we owe it to the people who spoke out, the hotel workers, the assistants, the anonymous voices, to keep digging. Because stories like this, they don't just vanish. They get erased, silenced, forgotten, unless we refuse to look away. Drop a comment below with what you believe really happened. Was this just the tip of the iceberg? Are there more victims, more tapes, more truths we haven't seen yet? Subscribe now to make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Because this investigation isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning.
Like, share.
Stay loud. Stay watching.